Allow me first to give thanks to ETT for allowing us to have a presentation in this panel. I've heard very interesting things, and being the last speaker in the panel, I will try my best not to repeat things that you have all heard before and try to give a different picture, a different perspective of the whole subject. May I? So I'll take just one moment of your time just to present a little bit about ENA, in case some people, and I'm sure some people in the room, just don't recognize the name. We are indeed a think tank. We were created in 2000 from a private sector initiative from the Federation of Greek Industries. And the whole concept was to create an organization that will become a leading ICT institute that will develop the ICT, help develop the ICT sector and provide support to its stakeholders. So our mission has been from the beginning to become a reference point in the Southeast European region, exactly in the ICT sector. So we have worked side by side with stakeholders in the region, and I hope that we have given help where it was needed many times. The kinds of things we work on is ICT sector development or providing customized research on the ICT sector, providing high-quality training services, and also advisory services that have to do with regulatory management or with business modeling or technology strategy and so on. Our main area of focus is the Southeast European region, not to say that we have not also expanded our services to further regions like the East Mediterranean region. And besides ICT sector development, which is our primary area of expertise, let's say, we are also starting to work very strongly now on subjects such as e-government development or electronic security, which we believe is a very interesting subject to cover. We work very close with regulators in the Southeast European region and also with ministries of communications. And the goal here is to provide advisory services and also training services. The International Telecommunications Union, ITU, has given us the opportunity to be part of the steering committee of its Centers of Excellence program. And through that tool, we provide training. And I'll take just this opportunity to remind those of you that have not perhaps even heard of this instance, that between 10 and 12 of June, at the premises of ETT, we're organizing together with the ITU and, of course, ETT, a very interesting workshop, I should say, a 3-day workshop that touches upon infrastructure sharing and separation models. So I'm sure many people in this room might be interested in that discussion, and feel free to contact us to get more information about that. So I'll quickly go into the main subject of my presentation. I would like to take us a step back and look at this migration to the new telecommunications model, the Telco 2 model, as some people refer to. Oops. Well, this is a very nice, fancy slide, but very much it says what I think Mr. Boss pretty well explained in his presentation. It's this moving around in our market, a moving around that changes the scenery completely from traditional players playing in the mobile market or the fixed or the internet market, and showing this picture of moving around between changing each other's business and going into each other's business, and also new players coming into the picture like Google and Skype, like Mr. Boss already mentioned, who are touching and gaining parts of the same end consumer interface. So it's all about a fight about the end consumer interface, and it's changing completely the telecommunications concept and the telecommunications market. It's no longer about structured vertical silos, but it's all a different picture now. And I'll just describe the slide that shows the different kinds of convergence that we see today slowly emerging into the markets. We see both a sort of vertical kind of convergence. You see the fixed and mobile convergence, which we often hear about. And you also see another kind of convergence happening on a horizontal level. And the horizontal level is between content and media providers and the traditional telecommunications market players. So you see a completely different environment, probably coming out of the maturity of the market, which is changing and which is not at the same pace in every country, even in Europe. Taking now each one of these types of convergence separately, I would say a few words about this vertical kind of convergence between fixed and mobile telecommunications players. And I like this slide that shows you a figure that shows you the different levels of integration that this process of fixed and mobile conversion goes through. So we begin usually with what's already apparent in most European countries, with bundled packages, with bundled services, which is the first step, not real convergence, but a first step towards that direction. And then we move on slowly to a next level of integration, which is a service integration level, where we have one operator, one provider offering you a service that includes all, so to speak, that you have a service that includes your mobile connectivity when you're outside your office or your home, and then it also offers you your indoor connectivity with one number. Then a next level of integration would take us all the way to device integration. And that's not really very often met in our markets yet. I'm talking about, especially, for example, the Greek market, where it's not present at the time. Of course, it is in European European markets, such as, for example, most of you have already heard about the BT Fusion offers that combine in one device both your mobile connectivity and your fixed connectivity. So when you are with one device, when you are in your fixed premises, in your home, for example, you get connected to the fixed network, and that's where you have your connectivity. And when you're outside, you have your GSM connectivity. And the last level of integration, I believe we're not yet there, but hopefully we will be there in the near future. It's the network integration level. So it's when the IP networks will allow us to have everything on top and all merged services offered over a common platform. Now, in either case, there are, I think Mr. Boss also spoke very clearly about the risks and the challenges. There are challenges in the side of the regulator, and there are risks on the side of the investors. Regulators obviously at some point have to go into imposing certain kinds of obligation in this new kind of telecom environment. On the other side, the telecom operators have to somehow mitigate the risks of investment, and they can do that in two ways, obviously. One way would be a direct approach in which they would have to define very carefully their own products. Define very carefully, for example, bundled packages that do not include, that include non-SMP services. On the other side, they can indirectly push for more clear definition of the market from the regulator's side. Now, if I switch from the vertical convergence side to the horizontal convergence, we have a totally new and different environment. We have new players coming in. You see the arrow on the bottom of the slide that's coming from the right side to the left, and that's all the new players that are coming in, that are not your traditional telecommunications players. They're more of the content and media players, and they're now coming into the telecommunications business. And of course, I mean, the way I look at this is when they come into the telecommunications business, they're in it for new customers and new revenue. On the other side, you see the arrow above them where the traditional telecommunications players appear, and they're also moving into the media business. But, well, in my perspective, that's also a necessity, because what they need to do is actually keep their customer base.